Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, reviewing Love is Blind Sweden, Season 2, Episodes 7 and 8. So we're not yet at the weddings, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. We were left on a cliffhanger with Emily and some strange woman coming in on a boat, and Emily feels like Jakob did her dirty in the pod, so of course, she has a lot to say.
Förstår du varför jag inte gick in till vår sista dejt? Jag vill inte ha någon som förfinar saker eller ljuger om saker. Eller... Alltså hon bara, vi är klara, vi har kärleksförklarat varandra. Och jag fick ju så mycket frågetecken om det.
Jag sa till henne att du är den enda jag har berättat det här så djupt för.
Och då kände jag att det inte fanns någon som var liksom så nära att du kunde säga det till. Och att det var så här, nej men så var det inte, de här orden har jag inte sagt. Alltså det blev ju så här, men...
Jakob is there wondering where things went wrong. He has no idea why Emily was put off of him near the end of their relationship. If that was the case, why did you start to spin the narrative that Emily was the one trying to ruin your relationship with Karolina? Yet in this conversation, he's making it seem like Karolina is the liar and that he never affirmed Karolina in the way that she told Emily he did. And I'm thinking, okay, this man is clearly stuck on semantics. He said, I never said like, it's you and me, we're done. But you told her point blank that you're sharing this story because you're going to marry her. Which is equally confusing because you also told the story to Emily so you can see why Emily was confused. I was so irritated with Jakob. Apparently they had been sitting there for an hour and he was just going off of the fact that Karolina misrepresented how committed he was to her, which is so rich because aren't you now engaged to that same person? Obviously she wasn't pulling stuff out of her ass because you're currently engaged to her. So you affirmed her in some way. Anyways, he just wants it to be known that Karolina made things seem like they were solid when they weren't. I just can't wait for him to atone for this at the reunion. Like, how is he actually going to explain this away? Because we saw it clear as day. Another boat pulls up, and on it is Tim and another mystery guy. Why are they looking at these mystery people? We don't know these people. Leave them. But anyways, this is really bad timing for Alicia because she and Oscar are still not in a good place. So seeing that old flame where the feelings haven't yet died, tricky.
Nej, men när jag blundar så hör jag din röst liksom.
Men jag blev väldigt chockad.
Nej.
Men när du valde att avsluta?
Jag hade inte någonstans på kartan kunnat föreställa mig att du skulle fria till mig. Hade du friat till mig?
Ja, det hade jag gjort. 100%.
Hade du gjort det?
100%.
Åh, herre.
Ja, hur känns det för dig då? Känns det okej?
Det är jättekonstigt. Att du ska veta att det var 100% äkta.
Det har jag aldrig trott något annat faktiskt.
Jag hade väl trott att det skulle vara lite lättare att träffa dig kanske.
Tim says that even if they end up having chemistry, he doesn't want to be second place. And I'm thinking, you literally weren't second place though. You made yourself second place by not being firm on your feelings for Alicia. Alicia, I feel, would have been completely sold on Tim if he was more confident in his decision. Apparently he was going to propose to her, but even if he would have proposed, he was making it seem like the proposal is just them starting the dating process when the pods were the dating process and the proposal was a proposal. A legitimate one. Like by the end of this, you're supposed to say whether or not you want to get married. And typically the people who end up not getting married at the altar don't have a fruitful relationship after the fact. I'm trying to think of anybody from any of the iterations of Love is Blind. I can't think of a single one. So yeah, it is real. And him, you know, pussyfooting around the situation, it wasn't enough assurance for her. And that's what she needed. We're seeing her struggle a lot right now with Oscar because that reassurance that she thought she would get from him is now non-existent. The tables have completely flipped because she's now getting more assurance from Tim in this short encounter than she has with Oscar this entire time that they've been together. I really felt for her. You could see that she was struggling with the fact that Tim is a reality that she could have had, but there just wasn't enough certainty coming from him, so she couldn't take that gamble. Whereas now Oscar is being what she thought Tim would be. How much of a mind F is that? I would not be able to process what's going on. Like I said, Karolina decided not to make a scene at the mixer. However, when they got home, a lot was running through her mind.
Alltså jag såg inte dig på hela dagen typ. Alltså ni var borta jättelänge. Alltså det var ju lätt över en timme liksom. Det var ju väldigt länge.
Är du färdig?
Nej, jag är inte färdig.
Nej.
Försökte sätta in i min situation en gång. Jag försökte vara okej med det lilla du gav mig då.
Vi pratade om hennes bild av det hela och min bild av det hela. Men jag följde mitt hjärta och mitt hjärta slog för Karolina. Några mer frågor om det samtalet? Eller är vi färdiga där?
I was so irritated at Jakob saying things like, are you done? You're asking me if I'm done? No, I'm not done. Matter of fact, let me add more things to say to you because now you're pissing me off. Jakob was being so callous to me. Maybe it's a Swedish thing, I don't know. But Jakob to me was so callous, and I think in part it has to do with the fact that he knows that he's wrong. He's wrong in the way that he handled things at the pods, and he's wrong with the way that he's handled seeing Emily again. Karolina had said, I missed you all day. I felt like I didn't even get to speak to you. You were talking to the girl for an hour and you didn't even come and check with me or nothing. Like I'm just out here wondering what the hell was that about? Like, are they trying to rekindle? Does he have regrets or whatever? And we also know that she herself is still trying to grapple with her own feelings. So she just lives in constant insecurity being in this relationship. I did not like Jakob's response to her at all. And then he tried to flip it being like, well, I have concerns because you haven't yet told me that you love me. Separate conversation. Valid. But separate conversation, because how can you expect me to say that I love you when right now I'm looking for a reassurance and you're not giving that to me and you're almost making it seem like I'm the problem? He again is stuck on semantics. He was saying things like, well, Emily believes something that wasn't true. Well, is the problem Emily or was the problem Karolina now? Victor had concerns that Natalie said, I love you prematurely. He was talking to the guys being like, you know, this is a serious thing for me. I'm not somebody who just says that to any and everyone. But eventually he did tell Natalie that he loves her, which is just in time for him to meet her family.
Welcome. Var det talet då?
Wait for the wedding. Thank you so much. Nice to be here. Thank you.
Så det är ganska otroligt att ni lyckades hitta varandra och få liksom en så stark koppling.
Men jag tänker på hur har ni tänkt med vart ni bor? Och...
Det är ändå något som jag kan tänka mig en period i Göteborg ändå.
Tills för ett par veckor sedan så kändes det som att det låg väldigt liksom, långt bort för henne. Äktenskap är ju en ganska stor grej. Det känns som att allting går så fort. Ni tar väldigt stora beslut. This
was an interesting meeting for me. It was interesting seeing how the family was receptive to Victor and then how things kind of switched near the end. So seeing her family being very open, very accepting, very expressive, I was like, so where did things shift for Natalie? Because she doesn't seem as extroverted, as expressive as her family. So I would love to know where the disconnect is with that. They immediately were like, oh, welcome to the family. We're happy to have you here, blah, blah, blah. Natalie is talking about how certain she is about this man. She loves him like she's never loved anybody before. And to me, it kind of looked like Victor wasn't engaged. He seemed disconnected to me, and I don't know if that's just a thing whenever he's with people, because even when his sister was there at the table, I didn't see a lot of enthusiasm from him. So maybe he is somebody who gets overstimulated when there are a lot of people in the room. I don't know. But anyways, it seemed like the family was on board until they started to talk about moving. She said that she would move to wherever Victor is because his life is settled and she can just find a new job and whatever. Then the family started to feel a little bit iffy about that. The sister is like, before you went on the show, you were adamant about never leaving Stockholm, and all of a sudden you want to go with this stranger who we barely know. Like, girl, let's be rational here, right? And Natalie's whole thing is, I'm going to be a wife. I need to dive in head first. Like, that's just what comes with being a wife. So I think that she's a bit naive. And it's interesting because I have a friend who said that when she got married, she realizes now how naive she was then. And she says it almost was a benefit for him more so than her, because if she had known in present day what she knew back then, she probably would have said no. I'm glad her sister is voicing her opinion because it seems like Natalie has lost track of the things that she was looking for before going into this. The move seems to be happening on his terms. And also he later on expresses that he didn't like Natalie basically saying that she wouldn't get married if he didn't love her because he felt like he was being put in a corner. It's giving a little, a little bit controlling, just a little bit. Like, what is so asinine about somebody saying, hey, I would like to be in love before we get married? I don't think there's a problem with saying that. So to me, I think he benefits from her naivete, and she's going to have quite a wake-up call. I don't know what kind of wake-up call, but yeah, she's going to need to stand her ground a little bit more or figure out what terms she wants to walk into this relationship with, because right now it seems like Victor is driving the boat. Before the couples go dress and suit shopping, Oscar and Alicia had a conversation about her meeting Tim, and she told him that what she saw in Tim was more than what she's seen from Oscar this entire experiment, and so she does need some space from him. In that conversation, he did say that he was willing to fight for their relationship. However, they had a phone conversation where he was like, you know what, I just don't think we're on the same page. So I was under the impression that they broke up. But here they are meeting again to rehash whether or not they should be in a relationship.
Detsamma. Jag är glad just nu.
Ja, jag är glad. Alltså skulle ljuga och säga om jag inte har känt mig lite ensam i lägenheten.
Jag känner mig ju sårad och besviken.
Jag vill känna att jag absolut inte kan vara utan dig i 2 dagar.
Nej, men det är skittråkigt att höra såklart. Så någonstans har väl jag också landat i att jag kommer inte tjata, jag kommer inte be dig. Vill du inte stanna så behöver du inte. Jag vill inte kramas.
Oscar is trying to figure out if this relationship is worth fighting for, but the gag is he doesn't have to fight for anything. All Alicia is asking for is for her to be let in. He does look like he's in a better place, but to look like you're in a better place after taking some time away from your fiance, not good at all. He also says that he realized that he was sad during their time away from each other, but he wasn't sad because he desperately missed her. He was sad because he knew that she would be sad. The men are lacking a lot of empathy in this season here. Well, I guess that is being empathetic. Like, I'm feeling sad because you probably feel sad. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. So he tells her, I don't think my feelings will develop in the next 2 weeks. And so it doesn't make sense for us to get married because what will happen in the next 3 years? He tries to give her a hug and she's like, no. And also in their last conversation on the phone, he tried to be like, oh, can I get a kiss over the phone? No! Is this man okay? It's like he likes this. No, he said it. I wrote it down. He said he doesn't need security in a relationship because he enjoys uncertainty. But the problem is Alicia needs security. And so that's just not going to work for him. He likes that push and pull, that toxic, do you like me? Do you want to be with me so that I can fight for the relationship? He said that he likes to be in a position where he is doing a lot of the impressing, doing a lot of proving that he's worthy in a relationship. Baby, that is toxic. Toxic. Here is somebody who's emotionally available, who wants you, who wants to love you, and you have a problem with that. You wish that she was more callous so that you could fight for that relationship more. Someone in the comments actually said that they're similar to Oscar in the sense that they need time to process their feelings, but they've learned over time that expressing the need to process has been helpful. I think that would have given Alicia some peace of mind. Like, hey, I'm in a bad headspace right now. It is about this. It doesn't have to do with my feelings for you. Those are still intact. I just need a moment. Maybe she would have felt better because she doesn't have to figure out like what is wrong with you. She knows what's wrong with you. And she knows you don't have the words right now and you just need a moment to collect your thoughts and come back to her. I think that would have gone a long way, but Oscar has a lot of things he needs to work on. So it's for the best that they are breaking up. Nicholas and Karen talk about their personality differences, and we have learned from seeing her in her apartment that she gets overstimulated quite quickly. She gets anxious quite easily as well. She might be high strung or something. She might also have ADHD, who knows? But she says that she admires that Nicholas doesn't really have that anxiety, and she's wondering like, how are you not how are you not anxious all the time? And he's like, I actually am anxious, but I see that you're anxious. And so I realize that I need to keep it together because it's not going to benefit us if I'm also anxious. You're probably just going to be more anxious. I'm thinking, how interesting is that? He says he doesn't want to have to do that though. So I think maybe he needs somebody who's going to allow him to also have his moments of panic, to also have his anxiety be on display, because for him to constantly mask himself to make sure that she doesn't spiral is going to catch up to him very soon. But they later have a date where she's like, oh, I wish that we could see our journey a little bit. And they get an iPad that shows their reveal.
Men gud, jag går och står och gapar som ett fån. Alltså hur många gånger säger jag att det är sjukt?
Jag säger wow, 9000.
I think this is something that the show should implement. Let me see the reveal. Let me see what the person reacted like when they saw me. Obviously, if it was a bad reveal, it might not be a good conversation. Maybe it'll be a conversation about growth. Maybe. Either way, I think it would be beneficial for them to get a taste of what was going on in the pods portion of the experiment, because I would hate to be blindsided at the reunion or blindsided when I'm watching everything back like, oh, my boyfriend, fiance, husband was scum. Ew. Like, was he just pretending with me? Like, did I fall for the okie doke? Like, what the heck? I'm thinking of last season's Amanda and Sergio. Sergio? Yeah. She seems to be very happy, but I'm sure parts of her didn't feel good watching Sergio back on the show. I think that they should implement this. Married at First Sight does it. Why can't Love is Blind? Karolina and Jakob have been struggling with this whole I love you thing. He has said it. She has not. She said that she has really strong feelings for him. And he's like, yeah, that's not good enough. I'm actually going to need you to say that you love me before we can get married.
Upplever du själv att du håller tillbaka någonting då? Inte ledsen.
Inte ledsen. Glad.
Glad? Jaha. Är du glad för det?
Men jag tycker att du är världens mest omtänksammaste och finaste. Även om jag inte kunde sagt till dig att jag är kär i dig.
Vad gör du?
Jag tittar på... Nej, vänta. Nu har du hår i ögat.
Ja, jag var på väg att säga något jättefint här till dig nu, men det avbröt så jag tappade helt av mig. Påminner mig själv, jag tycker om honom, jag tycker om honom, jag tycker om honom. Det jag ville säga var att jag är jätterädd att förlora dig. Jag älskar dig.
Nej.
Jag börjar gråta.
I don't believe her. I don't. I'm really struggling to believe her. And you know what's interesting too? I think he doesn't believe her either. The fact that they had this little like tiff as she was trying to say that she loved him, to me is an indication that he had a fear that she was going to say something he wasn't going to like, so he had to try and derail the conversation. That's how I perceived it. She also kind of fed into the like, oh, well, now we're having an argument now and I wanted to say something nice. I think if she was convicted by saying the nice thing, it would be like, babe, stop. I'm trying to have this moment with you. But it almost turned into a fight because I think she's also uncertain. He was afraid of what she was going to say. She was afraid of saying it at all. Eventually, she gets around to saying it, and she did say that she's not going to say I love you unless she meant it. So maybe she does mean it. But I think it's very telling how he tried to intercept what she was going to say and how she almost fed into them having an argument. So they do the bachelorette parties. Honestly, it wasn't giving us anything to really talk about. What was interesting was when the guys were having their bachelor party, one of the friends were like, write a speech, like a fake speech, and have these key phrases that you need to say. And then you're going to call your future mother-in-law and recite the speech to her, right? To get her help. Victor calls his future mother-in-law and she hangs up. After that, he says, yeah, I have cold feet. Granted, his speech was like nonsensical, but why would she just hang up like that? The call could have dropped. We don't know, but I do think the sister's concerns are permeating into the family's concerns, and this didn't help. Now, mama doesn't know that it's a joke, but I'm sure it's like oh, this man is going to do a number on my daughter. Hell no. Anyways, that's it for that. We will see what happens in the wedding episode, who actually gets married. My predictions will be definitely, I can't even say anybody is definite. Maybe Karen and Nicholas. And I would have said Natalie and what's his name, Victor, before this most recent episode. Just because it seemed like they were just gonna figure things out after they get married. It was giving that, but now he's having cold feet. So I don't know. And then Jakob and Karolina, girl, if they get married, I need a proper deep dive at the reunion telling us how their first year went, because I am so curious. But anyways, that's all from me today. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.